Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, my name is Brad. This is my channel Adamant Orange, where I build a lot of 3D metal models and show you how I do it. I'm back with another Star Wars model from the new movie from Metal Earth. We have a familiar looking AT-M6 model. Looks a lot like the AT-AT that we're all familiar with. But it's certainly different, more armored, and a little bit different posturing to it. Kind of looks like a guy bent over with his fists on the ground, if you ask me. So it's a little bit amusing for me to look at. It does look like it's going to be a more challenging build than the AT-AT was back when they first started coming out with these. So let's not waste a lot of time, open it up, see what's inside, and put it together. Now we have the AT-M6 Heavy Assault Walker, and I got a little ahead of myself and started ripping this off and went, no wait, you're supposed to do this in front of the camera. Haven't opened it yet, or looked inside, but whatever. Here we go. Inside there's a metal sheet and a metal sheet, and oh, there's a half a sheet. Wasn't that something? Lots of metal. Boy, this looks complicated. Oh, this one's gonna take a while. This is not the same AT-AT Walker, or the same as the AT-AT Walker for sure. 2 pieces of paper. Oh my! Let's open up the first sheet. Let's open up the first sheet. And if you've seen the TIE Fighter, Kylo Ren's TIE silencer, you've already seen that there's some new things in their instructions, another evolution in their instructions. We've got the Star Wars, the usual line drawing, the new Metal Earth logo, a 360 view with the QR code and the web address, so you can see a 360 view of this model if you need help. We have the usual sample piece talking about insertion holes, fold lines, and insertion tabs. And we have the legend, which is all one now, not a legend and then something else. Love it. Engraved side, you see this E in a circle. It's pointing to the engraved side of the part. NE points to the non-engraved side of the part. Sometimes the non-engraved side will have engraving on it, but it's not necessarily detail as much as it is for folding purposes or curving purposes. So if you see detail on both sides, just take some time to think about it, which way makes more sense. Tension point is pointing at something you need to pay special attention to. A lot of times it's talking about lining up certain tabs certain ways, or certain holes, or make sure both of these face in this direction. Sometimes there's words to go with it to explain it. Blue circle, when you see that at a connection point, it means to insert tab, bend over 90 degrees. Green triangle, insert tab and twist 90 degrees. Assembly tip, if needed, slightly twist tabs to hold parts together, then untwist and bend them down for a nice finish, something I've been suggesting for a while. Recommended tools has expanded. Basically wire cutters, or flush cutters as I would say, needle nose pliers, or tweezers. I almost forgot what they were called. And down here we have the metal sheets. We have 2 of the metal sheets, yes. So I'm just gonna grab one as a sample. Which one did I grab? I grabbed this one. We've got the part numbers pointing at the parts so that you can find them on the metal sheet when you need them in the directions to put the model together. And then if we slide over to page 2, we have the other small metal sheet demonstrated here. And starting next at the assembly flow chart, starting with part 1, fold that up, part 2, fold that and add, you get this. And you just follow the directions, follow the arrows and the directions, putting these parts together and building the model. Then on to page 3, so on and so forth. On to page 4, keep going. And when we get to the end of that, we open up the next piece of paper to page 5. Follow the arrows. Page 6. More building. Page 7, this one's longer than the TIE silencer. Page 8, we're just about done. Get down here, and we are finished with the build. And I forgot to point out, you will sometimes see parts that have color to them. That's because there's multiple parts. They're numbered once, but there's more than one, and you'll see that if we go back to page 1 and look at the sheets. You'll see, for instance, 35 right here. There's actually 4 different ones. This one is numbered. These are not, but they're easy to find because they're all the same color. Got a couple of the same parts here, same parts there. So that's something that's very common on these now and very helpful. I'm glad that they started doing that. Let's take a moment to talk about the tools that I use. This is my standard set that I use in most every build. I have long needle nose pliers and flat nose pliers, useful for a variety of different things. I have flush clippers that I use to cut the parts off the trees. It makes it quick and easy. And then I have some precision tweezers, one with a very pointed end, one that's had the pointed end ground down slightly, and one with a flat, sort of curved end. Great for getting into curved areas. And then I have a standard set of tweezers with an angled tip. These come in one of the Iconics models, and I love them and use them a lot. When it comes to shaping rounded parts, there are many options. I used dowel rods for a long time. I sharpened the ends of 2 of them with a pencil sharpener. These 2 are great for making cone shapes. Another option is a cheap drill bit set. The set has quite a few different sizes to choose from. Another option is a set of step mandrels. For shaping ball shapes or dome shapes, I've got this fondant set, I believe it's called. I found it by accident, but essentially it's got different sized spears on the end of a stick, so it's easy to hold on to it while you put a part on it and shape it around, unlike a bead or marble that could accidentally pop out from under you and cause problems. I have a sculpting set here that I occasionally use, and they have all kinds of different shaped ends on them. Some flat, some angled, some spoon. There's a couple of hooks. They're useful for reaching in and bending and pushing and pulling tabs and shaping parts from the inside. We've peeked at the directions, talked a little bit about tools. We've got some tools here to get started. We've got our 2.5 metal sheets. Let's put this thing together. As always, bending angle tabs so that they all point in the same direction towards the next connection helps them to line up with their slots better. The little rounded pieces around the joints of the legs will get in the way of the two halves fitting together if not tucked in far enough. It seems that they're intended to be a little long so that they'll tuck in and look cleaner. Tiny annoying part alert. Oopsie, forgot to fold the backside down. I decided to bend over the tabs here rather than try to twist them. There's not much room to work. I neglected to bend over the tabs holding the guns on the sides of the head like the instructions said. It led to problems when adding this part. There was not enough room. I had to bend the tabs over out of the way. For all of the curved parts around the joints, I use the tweezers to bend a little bit at a time, moving outwards carefully, forming a curved shape.
Be sure to put this tab in the correct outer slot. In this video, I cut out some parts where I tried numerous times to get a part to fit or had to make multiple adjustments to something to allow it to fit. I try to show a little bit of everything, but sometimes you may see in a video that I make one or two adjustments, when in reality I made many more. I do that to move the build along. These builds take time. Be patient, take your time, and be prepared to make numerous test fits and adjustments during this or any build. I'm still a fan of using my fingernails to bend over tabs, at least when it's convenient. With big bases like this that have long side pieces to fold over, I often use a table to fold the entire piece over at once. However, with this base, I needed to push in the shorter corner pieces first to make it work.
Finished and complete the AT-M6, the next Imperial Walker, and this one looks like it's ready to fight. It just kind of looks like somebody's got their fist shoved down in the ground and they're standing like a dog just ready to bark at you. I don't know, it just has a very menacing look to the front of it, and the back lids are kind of squiggly and funny. But this took 2.5 hours to build, so it took longer than the TIE Fighter TIE Silencer that I just built, but it did not seem difficult. Much like the TIE Silencer, everything just kind of flowed and came together. It wasn't a tough, difficult build. It wasn't a big fight to it. It's just a matter of just one part to the next, and it was a little more involved, but really not that much. Not for what it looked like. It looked like it was going to be a very difficult and complex and very long build, but it really wasn't. At least it didn't seem that way. And it only matters so much how long it takes. It matters a lot how much it feels like it took, or how long it feels like it took. So another fun build. I really enjoyed it. I'm loving these new Star Wars ones so far. They're not overly challenging, and I'm looking forward to doing the last two. And there's really not much more to say to that. It was a fun build. So if you like these models, build this one. Another AT Walker to your collection. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. If you like these videos and you want to see them continue, consider becoming a Patreon. I've got a link in my description down below. There'll be a link at the end of this video. Consider giving just a little to help continue to buy these models, build these models, and bring them to you. As always, thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.